Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Monday, October 26, 2020, and this is the SOS show with James Lott Jr. I am James Lott Jr., super organizer, and it's been a while since I've been on here. I've been a few weeks off, just kind of reevaluating, regrouping, taking care of other stuff. You guys know I do 10,000 different things, but I love doing this show. This is my flagship show. I've been doing over 300 episodes of the show over 5 years. I've had all kinds of folks on the show, and I'm bringing back two favorites, but I'm putting them together. So I used to do every once in a while the man show, where I'd interview men who would come on the show and we talk about man things. I also had the random show, where I had the spinning wheel, which I have again, and we talk about random stuff. Usually it does relate to some kind of organization or productivity, but the questions are put together, and they get to ask me a question or two also. So first, I always do my thanks and gratitude. Before I introduce everybody and do anything, my thanks and gratitude. I want to give my thanks and gratitude to everyone out there who has actually watched the show, listened to it, shared it, passed it on. To all of the folks at NAPO who have supported the show. I've had 7 NAPO presidents, including the current one and the next one on the show. Thank you so much for your time and attention and feeling my show is worth some kind of notice. I want to thank Forbes magazine and all the magazines who actually showed my show in their articles. Thank you so much for that. Also, I appreciate it. During this pandemic, I did not know if I was going to continue doing the show, what was going to happen. Thanks to Zoom, which I wish I had stock in, I'm able to do this show and continue it going. So that's my thanks and gratitude for this episode. And a shout out to my daughter who turns 34 in a couple days. Can't believe our daughter's 34 years old. I don't know. I obviously I was 9 years old when I had her, so I don't know what that's all about at all. So this time I decided to get 2 male organizers and 2 non-organizers. And we're gonna do this all together and see what their talk is. So I'll say to my left or right, I don't know how it looks to everybody else out there. He's a producer, host, comedian, DJ, and my friend, Flobo Boyce. Hi, Flobo.
Hey, how's it going? For the record, I am a non-organizer.
yeah, he's the non. Next to him is somebody that I admire very much, and he was a friend of mine. He's a filmmaker and a coach himself, and my buddy. And now he's waving right there, Phil Svitek.
Hello, everybody.
Much of why I'm in this realm of this business is due part to him. So I want to give thanks to him. And these 2 guys, I met them like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. They are professional organizers. I'm so excited. They're professional organizers. I'm so happy to have them on my show. I can't try to get anybody on my show that's a professional organizer. But we're having a good time getting to know each other. And the one next to Phil is coming to us from DC, Home Boss Organizing, Blake Jones. Hello.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. And down below, another fellow Californian. He's also a professional organizer. And you know what? I totally blanked out. What is the name of your company?
Yeah, it's Inflow Organization.
That's why I like that. Inflow. And that is Brad Wantt down there with 2 T's.
Thank you, sir.
He wants more than just one. Hi, Brad.
Hi.
Welcome, you guys. Welcome to the show. Now, the spinning wheel is these 6 categories. I just turned my phone. My phone. That happened beforehand, I thought. The 6 categories are job related, mornings, music, manhood, relationships, and car. I'll say it again, job related, mornings, music, manhood, relationships, and car. Those are the categories. Now, I didn't choose who I'm going to pick first until right now. I'm going to choose, going to be really nice, I'm going to choose Phil first. Okay.
You can do it, man.
You're going to spin the wheel. No whammy, no whammy. Do this. Okay, here we go.
I love the sound effects.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, it's legit.
Car, Phil. I have no cards for each one. Car, Phil. Where is the messiest spot in your car?
Messiest spot in my car. It's probably the back seat, but because I always carry my 2 dogs, and so they always, I'm always constantly having to vacuum and all that stuff. They shed a lot. So, but other than that, it's actually pretty clean. And I do try to vacuum it as much as I can, but you know,
With
you
you, I
get
believe
dogs, you get two dogs, you live with fur everywhere.
that's true. And I know, and knowing you, I believe you. You're not a messy person anyway, so I know you're not. I know the dogs. Okay. Now we're gonna go over to we'll do Flobo next. You ready? Here's the wheel.
I know what I'm rooting for.
How funny. Music.
Ooh,
How
I
ironic.
hate it all.
How Def Leppard. Okay. We don't shout answers. Here we go. What is one popular song that you hate?
Can I phone a friend? No, I'm kidding. Bohemian Rhapsody. As a DJ, you have to you can't cut it out. You can't mix out of it. Once you start, it has to go. It's 6 minutes long. Everyone thinks they can sing it. They cannot sing it. I am tired of hearing it. So Bohemian Rhapsody with a bullet.
I love that song, and I can sing it. Just kidding.
Okay, everyone says that. Everyone says that.
That's so funny. Wow. Aw, poor Queen. We're
A
gonna go
bicycle
to
race? Dope
What?
song.
What?
Bicycle race? Way better.
I want to ride my bicycle. I want to ride a bike. I love that song.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to Brad once.
All right.
Get ready. Get ready. Here we go. Manhood.
Uh-oh.
Okay. What is one thing that is male related that you wish you didn't have to do anymore?
Shave my face, for sure. Yeah, I would take that away in a heartbeat.
I agree completely. I shaved my head and everything today for you guys, but I hate shaving. I hate shaving. Oh. Good answer. Now it's time for Blake. You ready, Blake?
I think so.
No whammy, no whammy. Oh, this wheel's going all around. Mornings.
Okay.
Blake, what is one thing people should do in the morning, in your opinion?
Have like 5 cups of coffee. I drink so much coffee every single day, and I think it's the best thing ever.
Can you blink anymore, or is that done?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
Sometimes I get a little jittery from how much I drink, but it goes away quickly.
Do you have a certain kind of coffee you like, or how you like your coffee?
No, not really. I usually drink it black.
Okay.
And make it so my coffee maker has a strong brew button.
Dang.
So I always hit that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna do. That was fun. We almost hit all of them almost. Okay. So now it's time for one of you to ask me a question, and I'm going to pick Brad.
What is one thing that you spend entirely too much time doing?
Crying. I'm just so busy. I cry all the time.
Bummer.
No, that's a good question. What did I spend too much time doing? There are, because I'm so, at the end of the night, I'm usually having a drink or two. And I do my late night show on IG. I'm done doing that. I find myself sometimes after that laying in bed doing too much YouTube rabbit hole. 2 nights ago, I watched one 80s video, and all of a sudden it was 3 in the morning, and I had watched like 100 of them. I have a tendency to go watch these documentaries, and I was getting down the line. I was like, next thing I knew, I'm like, oh my God, it's 2:30. I gotta get up at 7. This is crazy. I don't do 4 hours sleep. I do 7 to 8 hours. So I found myself doing that because it's well, I mean, it's mindless, but it isn't mindless. But I'm laying in bed, I'm relaxed, but I lose track of time. I could be sleeping. So that's been a habit that's happened. I need to kind of cut that habit down a little bit, because I'm not friendly when I'm not sleeping.
It's a fun one though.
It's a fun one, but that's a good question. It's getting a little too much for me. I was like, I'm really tired because I have to get up and be awake and like organize or talk to people. I don't know. It's still too much for me. a good question. Very good. Okay, we're gonna spin the wheel again. This time we're gonna go back to Blake.
Righty.
Godspeed, man.
Music.
Oh, okay.
Okay. What song or artist reminds you of your teenage years?
Oh my goodness. I'm probably gonna say the Dave Matthews Band. So the Dave Matthews concert was my first concert that I ever saw, like not with my parents, where I went with friends, and that was in high school. So that's I've always had a special place in my heart for Dave Matthews Band.
So like when you think back, they remind you of that time period with your friends. And
Yeah, exactly.
Fun. Yeah, very fun. Okay, like that. Now I go to Phil, Svitek. Manhood. What is the best advice given to you by a male that you know?
How that I know.
You're not the ones we know, we follow, but you know, other men that you know or have known. What is the best advice they've given to you?
Be less in awe and be more involved. So I think we put too many things on a pedestal of like it's unattainable, it's unachievable, and it's like, have respect, have admiration. Like, I'm not saying that. Don't be arrogant about things, but be involved. You want to do it, get in the game.
I believe that. I believe in that completely. I had a tendency to do that many times. Think that was for somebody else. Well, it does for somebody else. Somebody else does that, and have reverence for it. But no, I'm like, I can do it too. Or at least try.
And by the way, though, and a lot of that too, I think for a lot of people comes in with like their parents or something like that. Like there's always a fail-safe of like, it's like a crutch or somebody. It doesn't have to be it could be a parental figure in some sense, or a mentor, where it's like, just take the responsibility for yourself.
Okay, I like that. We go back to Brad.
Profound.
What new one? Relationships.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, okay. What is one trait that you need in a partner?
Oh, good question. Somebody who cleans up their shit when they're done with it, for sure. 100%.
You don't want to be a professional organizer for your partner?
No.
I leave my work at work.
Many other things. Yes.
Good. That's good. I like that.
You got to take care of your shit.
Like that. Very interessante. Okay. Flobito.
Oh. Hope it's an anti-queen question.
Car.
You sound surprised.
I was like, it looked like it was going to go to something else, but it didn't go there.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
The thing, the needle's like really close. What are two things you store in your car for emergencies?
Two things I store in my car for emergencies. First aid kit, that's in the trunk, and I have a backup pair of sunglasses in the glove box. Because driving in LA is something fierce. I wasn't prepared for that. I'm from Brooklyn. It has 2 hours of sun a day, but being in LA is a whole different beast.
I thought you were going to say a backup pair of speakers and a mixer.
Did someone call a party?
DJ anywhere. It's great.
Yeah, it's a good idea, actually.
That's good. That's a good idea, actually. Yes, it is. Okay, so now it's time for another question. I'm gonna have Blake ask me a question.
Okay. So you have been a professional organizer for a while. So as you said, I'm just kind of getting started. I want to know, what is the biggest professional organizing fail that you have ever had? Like, if you're working with a client, give me a time that you messed something up.
Oh, mess something up. That's a really good question. I haven't so far, knock on wood. I'm knock on wood. I haven't. No, but I mean, I've had little things happen. So what I try to do from the very beginning, I'm very much like, repeat back everything they say to you, make sure everything is in writing. I've watched enough People's Court. I was just like, make sure everything's I was like, Judge Miliana here in my ear. I had to meet her actually at the Emmys a few years ago. She was great. But no, I was always extra cautious. But I am a big guy. I got big sausage fingers, and things slip out, knock over. And I was going, my sausage fingers, I'm sorry. Things like that happen. Blowing china shop sometimes. But I'm trying to think, so far, I've been very fortunate. I mean, I've had to fire some clients, but they've not been because of me. So I've been very fortunate so far that I haven't had a huge fail, actually. Because I really do take the time to listen to them, make all the steps. And usually they understand if something breaks or something slips, or, I mean, a lot of times it's them doing it, I'm with them. So like, even better, it's like theirs. But I've been very, very, very fortunate. I've not had to give back money. I've not had to go to courts. I mean, I've not had to pay for anything. I mean, I've been very, in 11 years, I've been very fortunate. Watch what happens this week on a job. I'm like, oh my God, it's happening now. So I've been very fortunate, but I do try to do I try all my steps, my ducks in a row, to make sure everything is set up just in case anything happens, because things happen. A dent in the wall or something like that. But I haven't had a big one. I have not had a big one. So I've been very fortunate. That's a good question.
That's good.
Very fortunate. So just be as cautious as you can. That's why I tell people, just be as cautious as you can, but also know that things are just going to happen. Things are going to happen. Okay. I'm going to spin, and I'm going to go back to Flobo again.
Oh, no.
Music again.
Okay.
Game's rigged.
I love Queen, guys.
Queen. What is your music to get you through a stressful day?
Oh, wow. I think that's like a two-part question. Because there's like normal stress, like life, finances, stuff like that. But then there's like stress at work, right? So like when I'm at home and things are getting tough, I usually put on that fight music, that hard EDM, that those ones you can sing out loud, that sad songs with a bounce, like Breaking Me by Topic or something like that. But if I'm going to a gig and I'm stressing about that, because like yourself, I'm being as cautious as I can, but I'm still worried, I go to the spa channel on the Sirius and listen to like all the drones and spa music, because I'd be having those beats in my ear for hours. I might as well just put the whole like drones, David Lynch things and chill out that way.
I see you do that. You're playing music for like what was the longest gig you've had?
The longest as a wedding, as a normal like party, it's like 7 hours. But as a wedding, I'll say I've done a 12-hour one once. And you feel it in the upper back because you're standing up doing it for so long. And so my contracts have an 8-hour cutoff plus overtime since then. I learned my lesson real early.
That's amazing.
Smart.
Yeah.
I can't even say anything. When I used to DJ, I did those little 1-hour sets here and there. I can't even say nothing.
It's a lot of it's cultural. There's some cultures are like, all right, the time is that the venue is 9 o'clock. And some cultures are like, we're done when we say we're done. And that's just the way it is.
Dang, that's amazing. That's amazing. We're gonna have actually I'm like let's see, who do I have to ask me a question next? I have like I think Phil, ask me another question.
Sure. I don't know, this might be a little bit cliche, but why should people vote? And based on your experience. And I'm not trying to like dictate people who to vote for, but why?
Yeah. Why come from people who died and people who were maimed and killed to vote. When this country was started, I wasn't my people weren't even considered people. They're like the official person. So for me, just for them, because I'm very ancestral. I'm a big person who believes in my ancestry and believes in honoring that. I feel like that's if that's one of the few things I can do, you know, is to vote, which is a privilege. I do that. I feel like it's important to be involved in your community. So I'm a big person about voting locally also. That's a big deal. We focus on the big stuff, but focus on your neighborhood too. I mean, know who your mayor is, know who your councilman is, know who your senator is, who your district is. I mean, like, there are things, there are measures, I mean, I go to town hall meetings in my neighborhood, and we fought somebody for making our street a major street. You know, that's the power we can't have. We voted for permit parking on my street, which saved a lot for us now. You know, I believe in local, starting from the small all the way up. I think it's very important to get involved in your community. And one of those ways is by voting. I don't want to be a politician. I'll vote. We're going to spin the wheel. I'm going to go to Brad. Car.
Okay.
It hasn't gone to one of these still. I'm like, why hasn't it got going there? Okay. Oh, this one. Brad, do you have a place for your trash to go in your car?
It goes on the floorboard, and then when I get gas, then I dump it.
Is your car clean for the most part?
Yeah, it's pretty clean. And it, you know, the back's full of like little organizers and baskets and stuff for people, you know, in case I need to use it. And the back seat's got my kids' garbage, but it is pretty clean for the most part. Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right. So I go in the car all the time. Okay. We're gonna go to Blake. Oh, he's bees. Finally went there. Job related.
Okay.
I was like, finally it went there. This is one for you. What is one tip for you want to give to people on productivity?
Oh, productivity. Well, can we broaden it a little bit to be organizing and productivity? Okay. I think the one thing that I would tell people when it comes to organizing is just get started. Like I often hear that like fear or like this is going to take too long, or I'm never going to finish, or it's going to be too emotional. Like, just take that first step, baby steps. It's always good to kind of build some momentum.
Yeah, well, you know, my whole thing is small steps lead to large rewards. That's my book. That's my message. I've said it for years. Literally,
I wholeheartedly agree.
It really does. When you see something really big, you get scared. You shy off. You turn off. It's too much for your brain to process. So I feel like little chunks, that's easier to handle.
Yeah,
much easier to handle than that. And I think it's, you know, there's some people who believe in the other way of, you know, put everything out front. I'm not going to say who it is, but this person's popular. And you go through it. But I know a lot of folks who I gave shade to her already on other programs, but I don't believe in that. I believe in, you know, we have these living spaces, or we have these workspaces, and just start from one corner and go across, and eventually you'll get there. I mean, it just happens. And when you see the little victories, that encourages you to go on.
The snowball effect.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. Okay. Feel again. It's right almost on the line. Okay, it's right over relationships. It's almost like car. It's like almost right at the. I'm like, okay.
We can do car relationships.
You love your car, Phil.
Random after dark.
But no relationships. Well, Phil, this is a good one to ask you. Could you date a hoarder? It sounds like an easy. It sounds like a very plain question, but it's much more than just that. Obviously, you meet them, they're great, all that kind of stuff, then you find out.
How far into it do we find out?
Good question. Well, does it make a difference? That's a good question. That's a good,
It does.
part of the question. Is to make okay, for example, I went out with somebody 2 dates, then went back to their house and found they were a whore. I was done. So I don't know. I mean, maybe if I had been dating them 6 months or a year, I don't know. Maybe it'd been different. I don't know. So Phil, you can answer it however you answer it, either way.
I mean, I guess it would depend on the willingness to change. You know what I mean? Like, and I guess, I mean, ultimately, I don't know. It's tough to also define like a hoarder, but I think like just the show, you know, where just there's shit everywhere, and like I can't do that, because that to me, it's not just about the mess. It exemplifies a different mentality for me that I can't get behind.
Yeah, hoarding disorder is something. It's way more psychological. I mean, it's stuff, but it's way broader and bigger than that. And I kind of agree with you. It has to be up to that person if they're like willing to work through it and that kind of stuff. Maybe that'd be possible, I guess. The person I was talking to was not willing to work through it, so I was like, yeah, that's okay. Brad. They're on the line. Everything's on the line. Music.
Okay.
Right. It's so close. It was close to mornings. So what music would you put on while cleaning?
Probably some Euro trash, like techno beats for sure. Yeah.
Exactly. keeps you motivated, keeps you moving.
That's right.
You know, all that stuff you play at the gym or whatever, that kind of stuff. Yes, I love that. Flo, you get to ask me another question.
Oh, well, I'm trying to figure out how deep we're gonna go in the show, but
Up to you.
yeah, I know. That's the problem. The only thing's up to me.
It's all up to you.
When an organizer says up to you, I get scared. Because I'll keep it all. No.
Ends with you. It all ends with you. Exactly.
All right, this might blow up my face, but I'm a firm believer that if you came across a giant source of disposable income, you will make one what I like to call big dumb purchase, whether it's that fancy watch you always wanted, or a car, or start a charity, or buy a plant. What would be your one big dumb purchase?
Wait, a plane or a plant?
I'm like a tree. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, I would buy a plane with mine. Oh, well, I'll tell you how much you got, maybe.
I love plants. What my big purchase would it be?
The big dumb purchase, the one that has like no super. Yeah, you can't like build an orphanage. You can't pay down bills. Just
okay. So something dumb. Okay. My first instinct is to say, I don't know if it's dumb. It's just okay. I'm from the 80s, and and I used to play video games, those giant video game things at arcades. And I would love it. I don't think it's dumb though. I would love a giant Galaga, game. So I can play Galaga.
it's dumb, and that's not like you're investing in a stock market. That's what I'm saying. It's a purchase for now. It's a gratification.
Galaga game of Galaga. I want the huge thing. I put quarters in it and everything. I want the whole shebang.
That's awesome.
Or Centipede, one of the two. It's Galaga or Centipede, one of those two. But from the 80s. I mean, if I got big money, I want one that's authentically from, not one of those remade one. I want from 1983 that has all the fingerprint stains on everything. I want the whole thing. All the bubble gum and shit we got there when we were kids. I want it all.
So no replica fingerprint.
No replica.
Stains.
I want because I have enough money that I want the original. I want one of the originals.
Hell yeah, man. Hope you get it.
That was dumb, but we kind of fun to have that, I guess. Because actually, that money, I'd build a studio. That's what I would do. Hang on. Okay, Blake. Car. Do you have a car?
I don't.
I figured. I'll spin again. You're in DC.
I was like,
that's going to be a very boring question for me.
I'm like, okay, let's do it again. Manhood. Here we go. It's a two-part question. Can men be organized? And why do you think there's a misconception that men can't be organized? It's a woman's thing. In your opinion?
Well, absolutely, men can be organized. That was an easy question. The misconception. I don't know if this is like a misconception about like capability or a misconception about I guess like roles and responsibilities, but we live in a very patriarchal society that says like women do housework and men make money and support their families. Thankfully that's changing every day, but there's a lot of that history there that men are not meant to be organized, that someone else will take care of it for them, and the housework. So I don't know. I think that's the conception, the misconception.
I'm gonna just go off and go brag because you're a male organizer. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely men can be organized for sure. I know a lot of them have got really tidy spaces. I agree with Blake 100%. It's absolutely just sort of we grew up to think that, yeah, dad comes home and drinks beer and mom takes care of all the rest of it. And yeah, that isn't the way that it is. And most of my friends that I know, have a partner come home and it's different. They're all doing different kinds of things. They're cooking and cleaning and paying the bills and, swapping out. So
I know for me, I grew up with my sisters. They're messy as F.
I was just about to say I lived with a woman with a female my freshman or my sophomore year in college. We knew each other from high school, and she was a total slob.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. So it's like so we shouldn't have stereotypes, folks, out there. That's the whole point. Is that I've lived with a lot of women who just clothes everywhere, makeup everywhere. The counters are always crazy, and I was the neat one. And I would hear people say to me, well, isn't it being organized women's things? Aren't women? I'm like, no, I know a lot of men. I mean, Flobo and Phil, do you know a lot of men who are organized? I mean, do you know men who are organized?
I do. And I was going to say, my question originally was, best male advice. So here's my male advice. You can come home and have a beer and clean.
There you go.
So
that's what TED Talk. You can have a beer and clean. Good night, buddy. I would say that I am that way. I came from the whole college area. Like when I was a resident advisor, I didn't have an office. I had a dorm, and that's something I kind of like stuck with it. It really comes down to upbringing more than gender or before than rails or anything. But I don't assume that. I think women's clutter is different than men's clutter anyway. And so there's also different kinds. There's like dust play. There's like, rotating stock on the bookshelf and things like that too. So yeah, I think it's more about the individual.
Yeah, I've been always trying to break down this. I have my little show that I do on being a male organizer. I'm tired of this whole thing. Like it's a women's thing. It's women. Like, no, there are a lot of men I know who are very, very neat, orderly, and organized. It's not. I think it only has to do with their gender. I just think they just are. That's just kind of. But he happen to be guys. So I'm always trying to advocate for that. Brad, you have any other question for me?
What is one habit that you need to start being better about doing on a regular basis?
Well, actually, I've changed it. It was what happened. Was that now I meditate first in the morning before I get on my phone. I did change that. That was during COVID. That literally changed my 6 months ago. I meditate from 7 to 8 a.m. every morning, 7 days a week.
Good.
So I started that in late March. So that because I would get up, not even out of bed, get on the phone right away, see the email, see what's going on, be stressed out before I even got out of bed. Before I even peed, I was already stressed out. And then go to the computer, because I'm at home, so I'm like, walk right over here to the computer and start working before I even had something to eat, something to drink, my morning constitutional, whatever. I didn't do any of that first. I was already like just working. And I was like, I can't do that. That's not good for you. So now I've broken that actually. So I don't have anything left really like that. I actually broke it because that's
been helpful.
that I don't. Yeah, I'm just like, don't immediately get on electronics when you first wake up. That was my thing that I would do. I would always do that. I was like, nope, not anymore.
Good advice.
Good question. I like that. I was like, yep, we're not doing that anymore. Okay. Phil. Back to relationship.
This game is still rigged, I guess.
Phil. These things they're telling, aren't they? Some of them. How would you try to get a partner to help in the cleaning process? Do you have a way you think you could talk to them or try to get them to help?
I mean, I'll speak for like past experiences. It's just kind of like, we agree of like, okay, why don't we just kind of make a thing of it, set aside whatever. It could be the weekend, it could be the weekday, just a couple hours, and let's just make it fun and let's just do it. Let's write like, okay, what do we want to do collectively, and divide it, and let's do it.
That's always one of my things. I always tell people all the time, never come at a partner. Don't ever come at them. That's never a good thing. Come to them and then include them and work it out together. I think that's the best way to have anybody help you do anything. When you come at them and say, well, you do this and I need you to do that, like that they tune out. That just goes away. So I feel like the best way is to just sit down, like you said, just talk to them and see what can we come up with. I know it sounds cliche with the whole we stuff, but it's true. Just like, what can we come up with? What works for you? Like, so Saturday mornings, you're free to go. Then that's Saturday mornings. And Saturday morning, we agreed to, clean. And maybe every week is something different. I do the kitchen, you do the living room. Like, we figure it out together. And I love that you say, you talk about it. Just like,
but the word chore doesn't have to be a pejorative either. We can, like you guys mentioned, crank some music, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Have a good time. I lived with two guys, and the three of us had this huge condo in San Francisco. Every Saturday morning from like 8 to noon, we'd all clean the house. And we had music going, and then one of us would make lunch for each other. We had a great time. Our house was always spotless, and it was great. We're all kind of clean freaks on some level anyway. But we all talked about it. We agreed that was one of the few mornings we were all home. Anyway, now, mind you, I was a little younger, and there were some Saturday mornings that were a little rougher for some of us to get up after Friday nights. But one of the things we did agree upon it. So it's like if I went out and stayed out till 2 a.m. and ate bad food at this place called Orphan Andy's at 2:30 and 3 o'clock in the morning, and I get up at 7, I had to get up at 7. We agreed on it, but we made it fun. We had a good time. We joke around and laugh and just kind of get stuff done, and it was a lot of fun. So I agree with that. I think it's really good. Brad again. He's sitting down there. What he gets. Car.
I like cars.
I like cars. Let's see. Oh, here we go. What is in your trunk?
I've got shopping bags, which are actually not okay to bring into stores in California right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I got a bunch of home organizing things that may or may not ever get used, and jumper cables.
Let me ask you a question. So, because like for me and Blake, we don't have cars, so we have to carry our stuff with us, whatever, how we get it around. So do you always just keep like a stock of basic stuff just in case for any job?
Yeah. I just, it sounds kind of cheesy, but I go to like Goodwill every couple weeks and I just grab, 10, 15 bucks worth of stuff and clean it up. And 9 times out of 10, somebody that I'm working with can use a couple of little things here and there. And I rotate it through pretty frequently. So
very good.
Yeah, I have to use it.
Blake, so I have a backpack and I'm a bag lady. I have a couple bags of stuff that I carry with me on jobs. Some basic things I carry, not the things that are specific. I have a pair of gloves, and I have this, and I have like little tiny organizing. Do you carry anything along? Do you have like things like that how do you carry stuff around?
Yeah, so I have a little tool bag that I take with me that has, it has my label maker that I love. If you guys don't have a label maker, you should absolutely invest in one. They're great. Has my label maker. It has like pads that go on the bottom of furniture. It has some of the stick kind of grease lube that works on doors. Just a bunch of random Goo Gone to take off, stickers and price tags and things like that. Yeah.
I like that. I also carry, I have to be careful. I carry this stuff sometimes, but I usually have scissors or like an X-Acto knife, things like that, just because.
Sharpies, pens.
Yeah, Sharpies, pens.
Label, Post-its, yeah.
I have those things in my bag. But I have a couple of bags that are my organizing bags that just sit there. So when I go on a job, I put them on and charge out for the things that are not what the client asked me to bring them. Like that's something totally separate. But these are just things I have that you never know when they need them. You just never know.
Exactly.
You get in a project, you're like, oh yeah, you need labels for this? I got labels. I used to have a label maker. Well, I do have one somewhere. But I used to write calligraphy. So my clients like that I actually write their stuff on labels.
I have the worst handwriting ever, so that wouldn't work for me.
You like a doctor's handwriting? Where you just yes, I lucked out. That's bad as a kid. So
absolutely fascinating. It's like the old Saturday afternoon action movie where the mechanic has a tool bag of like the takes from the trade, the transporter. That's awesome. Get to work.
Organizers have, we come up with all kinds of stuff in the middle of a session. You literally never know. And sometimes they have stuff you can use theirs. But there are times when they're just like, I don't have it, or they run out, or whatever. I'm left-handed, as you know, Flobo and Phil. I have my left-handed scissors. So I have these. So there's certain things that I carry for myself that's more comfortable, as Brad laughs at me. And I have certain pens that I like. I have left-handed pens too, kids. Left-handed pens. If you're listening to this podcast, come to the YouTube channel. You can see the left-handed pen. So I have certain things that I carry in my bag that are very specific for me. So comfortable. And water. I carry water all the time. Lots of water, people. That's my number one advice about anything in life. You'll stay young looking like me. I'm 800 years old, trust me. Okay. Let's see. Let me blink again. What's going on? Hopefully it's not car. Oh, okay. I was with the car. It's job related. Oh, here's something. How do you keep your desk? What's on your desk?
So right now, I have a little phone holder.
Oh, how cute.
And my phone that's not in my phone holder at the moment.
Well,
and then no, my computer, I have an extra screen, and then my mouse, and then a little numeric keypad.
So
that's really it.
You're very minimalist when it comes to your desk.
I am very much a minimalist on my desk. Most of the time, if I have like papers or anything, so my desk is actually in my bedroom. And so a lot of times I'll just leave like the papers that I need on the bed beside me and just kind of like grab it. So I'm not taking up desk real estate.
I use my bed to lay out some things sometimes when I'm working on certain projects. Because it's just, I have a queen size bed, so I lay it all out. So it's not on my desk either. So I can kind of just look at it and go, okay, and grab.
Yep. Grab what you need.
Grab what you need. I got it. This will be the last spin. And who do I want to give it to? I'm going to give it to Flobo because he keeps getting music. Let's see if we can get something else.
Music.
It almost did music. I was going to say, no, I'm vetoing that spin. I'm doing something else. But it's relationships.
Oh, damn. Really? Okay. That's the one that I didn't want. Okay, hit me.
Popcorn.
What is one trait in yourself that you wish you could be better when it comes to in relationships?
Well, I'm always perfect, so I don't know.
Oh, wait, there you go.
They have to realize that I'm totally flawless. No. I guess I have to be better at perceiving affection. You know, talk about the differences of love languages. Like I'm the kind of person that likes acts of service. So if I'm digging a ditch, I don't need a glass of lemonade or you to encourage me. I want you to grab a shovel as well. I would say in past, I'm not one person just to cuddle or to spend an afternoon in bed, and that may be detrimental. But I think more tellingly on my end, I never noticed it's an opportunity for that. That's something I'm working on. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. It's good to know. It's good to know what maybe something you need to work on and what's going on and be aware. Self-awareness is key, right? For any kind of change when it comes to organization, life coach, anything. It's all about self-awareness. That's a start. It's a
Start.
There's much more than that goes on, but that's
Right.
you know, I know folks who are self-aware and don't do shit. So this is something different.
But they know they don't do shit.
Exactly. They know they don't do anything. So so I'm just saying that is a key to affecting positive change in your life. Thanks for playing the wheel, you guys. We love doing the wheel. It's just something crazy that we do, and we answered most of these questions. We got y'all to do, but I want to let this last kind of part up. If there's any other questions you would like to ask me, this is your chance to do that here on the SOS show at James Lott Jr. Anybody can go if they have something else.
I got one.
Okay.
This one's on relationships. When was the last time you were in love, good sir? I mean, warm fuzzies, butterflies, lightning bolts.
Last year was last time I started to feel it again. And before that, that's about 3 years ago, that I was actually in love, in a relationship. And I had that lost year where I was sick that lost year. That year I had Bell's palsy, so I didn't do anything with anybody. So 3 years ago, and then last year I started feeling it. It didn't work out. I love love. I love being in love. I love falling in love. I love the whole thing. As I get older, it's very different. You know, I'm now on the other side of I'm in my 50s. So I'm looking at companionship a lot more now. You know, I mean, there has to be love in there too, but I'm looking more at companionship because I feel like I have another good, hopefully 30 years left, maybe 35. And I'm looking at that now. When I was younger, I think about mortality. And you know, most of my grandparents are all gone. My uncles and aunts are mostly all gone now. I mean, I'm kind of becoming that generation. You know, my mom is still here, of course, and my dad, but then me, but it's like I'm becoming one of the elders now in the family. It's kind of weird. So when it comes to relationships, I'm looking for someone that I actually like, that I want to hang out with, actually, that I actually want to spend time with, because I don't have time for craziness. And I'm hoping that the love and the like will happen similarly. So I'm looking more to that. Okay. Anyone else?
I had a second question.
Well, your second question. Yes, Blake, please. Yes, please go ahead. Your second question. Yes.
So if you could have any other accent in the world other than your current accent, what would it be?
First of all, I don't have an accent. I'm from California state. Oh my God, like totally. No. That's a very, I've never been asked that in my entire life. That's very good. Oh wow, Blake.
You could be British.
Nah. That's nah.
Accent, bro.
Well, you know, it's funny because my family comes from the islands. I wouldn't mind having an island accent. Kind of interesting to have one from one of the islands, maybe West Indian or something. My family's Puerto Rican and West Indian, so I mean, I know what Puerto Rican sound like. I'm thinking maybe West Indian accent.
Okay.
That's very good. That's very. I'm like, yeah, away from the islands. I want an accent from the islands. So I'm sticking with that answer. That's the
There's
answer.
a bell.
I'm a bell. I'm a bell. What's that bell? What do you have a bell?
Yeah.
That's a good question, Blake. That's so funny. I'm gonna keep thinking about that now for a minute. Anybody else? Anything?
What's a language that you'd love to learn?
I knew Mandarin when I was a small child because I had a Chinese godmother and I was around them. I used to understand it. I wish I knew it now because Chinese is where it's going also. I wish I knew it. It's fascinating to me. I wish I could read it because I speak Spanish, and I speak some Dutch because I'm Spanish and Dutch. I speak those, but I wish I could speak and understand Mandarin. I think it could be useful in the future. It could be useful now, and it'd be kind of fun. That's a good question too. That's a good question. So I do know 2.5 languages. I mean, if you don't count, Black. I know 3 languages.
I believe the term is African American Vernacular English, sir.
Really, I'm sorry. It's not Ebonics anymore. I know Ebonics. I guess I'm dating myself. Black English and something.
Black.
I know that one, but yeah, that's a good question. I would like to know that. I probably could try it now and try to learn it, but I don't know. I don't have the time to do that. Brad, do you have any other questions for me before we wrap up?
I don't think so. I think we're good, man.
Good. Well, so Brad and I and Blake have our own little side thing that we do, and we kind of talk and get to know each other. And I'm here to support my other male professional organizers. And so you two out there, everyone out there should support them also. Let them know that they're welcome. They're here to help you out with whatever your needs are. So thank you everybody for being on the show, all of you guys. Thank you guys so much for being on. My long-running show, it's an organizer show with James Lott Jr. Brad, tell folks where they can find you and your business.
So I am on the web at professionalorganizerchico.com and Inflow Organization on Facebook and Instagram.
Is it Chico.com? Really? Oh, okay. I told you I went to Cal State Chico, right? I told you
Yeah.
Pioneer days.
Done many kegers up here. Yep.
I was like, it was party time up there. But I did get education, folks. I did get one. I swear I did get one. I don't know if it's worth anything, but I did get something. Mr. Blake, where can they find you and your services?
Yeah, so I am at homebossorganizing.com and on Instagram and Facebook at homebossorganizing.
Okay, home boss, folks. That's right. And my friend Phil Svitek, tell them what you're doing. What's going on? Where they can find the Svitek's at.
You can find me at Phil Svitek, social media, and the website is philsvitek.com. Very simple.
Yes, and he and I do many different shows together, so you can catch our stuff all the time. And speaking of somebody who is on one of my series, we've done shows together, his stuff, my stuff.
Yeah.
Flobo Boyce, tell me where they can find you and all your goodness.
Yeah, at social media, at Flobo Boyce on Twitter, at Flobito on Instagram. Flobito.com is the website. And I'm a part of the JLJ media family. Mistletoe Row, the audio drama, coming up soon.
Yes, coming out this winter. We have an audio series, and he plays one of the leads in the series. So we're having a good time, which I will see you tomorrow night when we record.
Yeah.
Episode. So it's very fun. So everybody, I'm James Lott Jr. And you know where you can find me. We're all James Lott Jr.'s are sold at James Lott Jr. on all the social media platforms. I'm not even kidding. I'm on TikTok. I have a series called, among other things, How to Get Super Organized in Under a Minute. So I give you tips because TikTok only goes a minute long. I give you tips on there. So and it's a very successful series. You guys seem to like it. So check me out there. I don't do any dances. I don't do any craziness. I actually just talk on TikTok. I know I don't do. I'm not a savage or whatever. I don't do any of that stuff. But I do talk stuff a lot. LOTT. That's for you, Flobo. And also, you can find me at the Super Organizer, which is everywhere on all social media platforms. The Super O. I know it sounds dirty, but they do let me finish the rest of the lettering. The Super O on Twitter. The Super Organizer on Facebook. JLJ Media is everywhere. I'm an online network. This show is on that network. I have 35 shows ranging from Star Wars to left-handedness to organizing to everything on there. Go ahead and follow, like, subscribe. And we're also on every single streaming service you can think of, from Spotify to iHeartRadio to Google to Deezer. We're everywhere. Just follow, subscribe, be kind, rewind. And follow and like and share with people you think may need to hear this or see this. And if you're a male organizer out there, please contact me. I'd love to have you on the show. Of course, always the invitation is open-ended and completely there anytime. And I'm just so glad that everybody could join us today. Please take care of yourselves and get organized.